Happy Monday. Good morning. It's about to hit 11 o'clock. My clock should sound here in a second or two. But I wanted to talk about something kind of spooky. Mm, my coffee. Yum. In fact, I already did my 5 mile walk. Cranked out a whole set of push-ups just now. And we'll have to do that again in a little bit. And here's what I used to eat. I did this from the Monday before 9/11 until about April into the next year. All right. So it was about 7 months, and I went from 276 pounds to 198, 95, 98, somewhere in there. So I went under 200. And here's what I did religiously. Every day, no fail. I'd wake up in the morning, go ahead, immediately put on shoes, shorts, t-shirt, take a walk. I lived in New Mexico at the time, and I even did this through the winter. Yeah, it was cold in the morning, so I had a hoodie. Sometimes I went ahead and dressed in pants and did my 2 mile walk. I had the loop right from my house. I knew how many streets to switch back and forth and return. Getting home, I would go ahead and take my shower, and then I would eat. And here's exactly what I would eat exactly 1 cup of Special K, exactly half a cup of no-fat milk. I would then drink a glass of orange juice. One of those little, those little glasses. They're probably an inch or inch and a half, and they normally hold like little, pickles, salsas, whatever. So I'd drink one of those full of orange juice. And then at work, about 10 o'clock, I would eat an apple. Always an apple, always a green apple, because I love the green Granny Smiths, right? And I always had lunch at noon to 12:30. And I would bring a batch of iceberg lettuce. And on it, I would always put exactly 3 ounces, 100 grams, of either salmon, pork, lean pork loin, lean beef, or a chicken. I like the muslo. It's a little fattier than the breast meat, but I always liked that kind of chicken, or it would be a leg, and as long as it was 100 grams. And then at exactly 2 o'clock, I had my break, and I had a banana. And then getting home exactly 6 o'clock, I would make myself exactly 100 grams of pasta. And I would cook it extra hard because I wanted like maximum, right? I'm already indicating that I've been slightly hungry through this diet. Yeah, I was starving my butt off through this diet, but I do have an iron will, and I would put on, thankfully some lady taught me how to make alimentary tomato sauce, which essentially is a little bit of bacon, olive oil, and then you go ahead and you use canned tomatoes and you smush them down. And I really can't remember the amount of sauce I put on, but I was one of the I like the Italian idea of the sauce complementing the pasta, not one worm of pasta swimming in a gallon of tomato sauce like most Americans that I knew then, if not still today. Oh, can I have a little bit more sauce? Oh, you mean you want your pasta swimming? So essentially you want tomato soup with pasta in it. Okay, I get it. That's fine. And then obviously I would be drinking either diet sodas or water for the duration. That went on from September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 7 months. And I hit my weight, and then I said, woohoo, now I can go eat how I want. Obviously, that diet was never going to be sustainable. Lo and behold, wow. I had a feed pop up on YouTube about the DASH diet. And I'm looking through this thing going, Jesus, I did that. That's exactly what I did. I didn't know it was called DASH. And I even tried that nonsense again here 30 years later, 20 years later. uh, in August of 2020, right? Lie. August 20. Yeah, it had to be August 2020. Because the previous October 2019, before I got devilishly ill, no, I thought I had asthma, and I'd never had asthma before. I caught that bugger in November 2019. I'm not going to say what I know it was, but hey, you know what? And it kicked my butt. And it kind of shook me off the diet. Then we had Christmas, where we went out to Guadalajara, and then I came back, and then I got bamboozled into some ridiculous particular school here. Horrific, horrible. Oh, as a human being, she was nice, but as a manager, oh my God, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why aren't you in? How come I can't stalk you? No, you micromanage me, and it's like, bonk, I hit you with a wrench. Don't tell me how to do my job. Give me the results you want, and then get away from me. Okay, so that having been said, I decided again, August, I quit that horrible thing, and I said, but I still got to do something because I'm still. So I did DASH, and in 3 months, after losing, and I was 270 something pounds again. Yeah, I was up to one and a quarter kilos. I go by kilos now because you can translate if you want. It's 2.2 pounds, right? So 125 kilos, and I dropped to about 115 to 112. All right, so I started August, September, by September, October. By November, I had leveled off. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe if I walk more. So I walked more. So I walked in the morning and I walked in the afternoon. And then like, oh my God, well, now what do I do? So I do this, I do that. And hungry all the time. 6 months. And then keto pops up, and of course, the history set. 3 months after I started keto, I dropped 17 kilos in 3 months. Right. So the first one, 13 kilos. Most of that was water. All right. You gotta just be honest about it. And since the only water that came out when I started keto was the actual water that comes out with the insulin. Right. The first one was actually just because I had just reduced my food, but I was still eating 5-6 times a day. And here I found keto, and it's like, well, I'm not hungry. Weird. And then all of a sudden Fung's channel pops up and goes, oh, so I don't have to eat. Okay, I'll practice that. And now it just boom. 3 months later, I lost even more than I had lost previously. So I would imagine from 125 down to 115. Let's just make the numbers easier to manage. So I probably lost 10 pounds of water weight. So that's 5 kilos. So my literal loss, Jesus, down to 120. Yeah, I only lost, 10 pounds. Oh, absolutely. 5 kilos of water. That's easy for almost a 300-pound heifer. I'll tell you that. That's easy peasy to drain that off in a couple of days. So my literal weight loss was, my literal weight loss was probably just 10 kilos. And here I almost doubled it in the same amount of time. And screaming. So here's the problem with the DASH eating plan, and this comes right from the horse's mouth. This is the National Institutes of Health, and of course they wouldn't take any money from Big Food or Big Farm or anything. They're independent government workers, right? I mean, they get paid the same amount of money, where if they're all GS20s or whatever, they all make the same amount of money, whether they build a bigger house, better house, more efficient house, or even build houses. Right? If your uncle is your boss, guess what? You got a job forever, and then you're going to retire, and you're going to be dead by age 64, because Social Security tells us that. You retire at age 62 on your pension. By 64, you're going to be pushing up posies. 65% of you. I can't talk for the other 35%. I don't know. I'm not God. But all sarcasm aside, for now, let's go through the DASH eating plan. So, let me tell you why, for me, I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose anything. I'm just a guy on the internet. And here's what worked for me. Vegetables. Yes, I can eat green leafy vegetables. I can eat tomatoes, if you consider that a vegetable. We'll call. Let's just do this right now. Everything that goes into a Mexican salsa: tomato, onion, garlic, cilantro, and chilies. Let's all just call that fruits and vegetables. All right, that you can eat. Here's the deal. But what they mean by fruits and vegetables is everything else that you think you can eat, like bananas and cherries and this and that and potatoes and carrots. Okay, those are horrible. Those spike insulin. All right, especially if you eat them several times a day. Now insulin stays. So fruits and vegetables. So eat a ton of those. Whole grains. Oh, because they're complex carbohydrates and everything. Well, the whole part of the whole grain actually has lectins in it, and that's a poison. But you can research that on your own. What's left is pretty much so vacant of nutrition, they actually have to fortify it with the B vitamins, which are fake. They're synthetic. They're man-made in the laboratory somewhere. They are not natural B vitamins, all right? Whole grains. Also, I would imagine you could include tortillas in that. Corn, because they do keep some of the cascara, the skin, that they peel most off in the process of cooking it down, but still they nixtamalizar. If I had to eat one grain on this entire planet and I was forced to eat it for the rest of my life, it would be maíz nixtamalizado. Look it up. Maíz nixtamalizado with an X. Nix, the X. Look at that, and that's why the Aztecs survived, because they essentially were able to fortify their corn with ash. Yeah, like ash. Like I burned a tree to death, and I have ash, yes. That will fortify you, absolutely. Everything else, though, the breads, the tortillas, the legumes, well, those come later. So fat-free or low-fat dairy, all right? And one thing back on grains. But they're complex carbohydrates. Yeah, and they all break down into glucose. So spare me. Look it up yourself. I'm not here to teach you what you can look up yourself. Fat-free or low-fat dairy. Okay, sugar water. Look it up yourself. Fish. Bravo. Eat all the fish you want. Of course, some people say don't eat canned fish. Like, who gives a hell? Canned is canned, and it lasts, and it's shelf stable as long as it's, for example, I eat a lot of savage salmon. It's not farm raised. It's actually in a can. I get it at Costco, and it's been wonderful. Poultry. Absolutely. Eat all the chicken and fish you want. Matter of fact, eat until you're stuffed. Beans. Yuck. The only beans that I would eat are, in Spanish we call them ejotes. French beans. Those are the string beans, the green beans. Green beans, all you want. Those are wonderful. Absolutely. If you're keto, if you want to do the keto style. Nuts and seeds. Sparingly. They have a lot of fat. They have a lot of omega-6. They're a little heavy in omega-6s compared to omega-3s, but pecans I recommend. Walnuts are good. I don't really eat much of the other stuff. Peanuts. Technically, peanuts are beans. They're legumes. So legumes are off. They're off the menu pretty much. Although some keto sites will say you can eat some peanut butter. Almonds, maybe, if you can handle them. They have a lot of oxalates. Look that up, what it does to your kidneys. Kind of back on the fruits and vegetables thing, I will eat a strawberry or any of the berries. Blackberry, raspberry, and or boysenberries, okay? I'll nibble those every once in a while. And believe it or not, they taste extremely sweet to me. And then here we go. Vegetable oils. Well, we already know about vegetable oils, and if you don't, look it up. Look up how they make canola oil. And if it doesn't gross you out, there's no saving you. I mean that quite literally. There is no sarcasm there. If you do not understand the difference, look up how they make olive oil and look up how they make seed oils. And if you don't recognize or notice or care about the difference, go to hell in your own way. Now, limit this. Oh, and with a big triangle with a in it. Limit fatty meats. And they're showing steak, they're showing sausage, they're showing ham, they're showing bacon, they're showing cold cuts. Those are lifesavers, man. Especially fatty meats. Guess that's all I eat now. Pretty much. I mean, I'll grab a little bit of veg here and there, a salsa maybe, an avocado. Just because. But like today, I'm actually making. I had 100 grams of limes and 100 grams of ground beef, lean. It just happened to be lean because that's what they sell. So I squeezed the juice and I put the salt that I would have put on a normal 100-gram patty. And I squeeze all the limes. It came out to 3 limes in its juice. And I squeeze that and I'm mixing it raw. And I'm going to let it sit for about an hour, hour and a half. And the butcher says that is absolutely delicious. It's a type of steak tartare. But if you're familiar with Mexico, they cook things in lime juice. And literally, the lime juice, the pH is so low, it's like stomach acid. So it will kill everything. Goodbye. Have a good day. See ya. As long as the beef didn't stink going into the process, there's nothing going to happen. So literally, it cooks in the acid. And I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar just because I love this stuff. All right, so fatty meats. This is what causes satiety. This is what Dr. Berry says, eat till you're comfortably full, comfortably stuffed. I mean, eat until you're full. Essentially, full means the food stops tasting really good and you're just kind of like, because your stomach's you're not going to feel bloated, not eating meat, ever. I never, ever felt bloated eating any meat at all. As a matter of fact, I don't even feel my stomach full. I feel like, I'm okay, I'm done with this now. And your brain just goes, you're done. Full fat dairy. So what do they show? Whole milk, which really is sugar water. I wouldn't even do that. But cheese and butter? Oh, man. Seriously, butter. Butter, the name butter, butyric acid, look it up. Look up butyric acid. Butter, butyric. Trust me, there's a reason why they named it what they named it. All right? You should be eating butter, you should be eating lard, and if you prefer the veg side, you should be eating extra virgin olive oil at every meal, always. Interesting how they don't even bring up eggs here. So I don't know if, I think they just kind of left eggs off. Dude, I would eat at least 4 to 5 or even 6 eggs a day. Absolutely, guys, I have never felt better. I'm telling you. And I mean, we went through 30 eggs. Now I got my family onto this thing. Oh my God, they're becoming lean. We were having some strife because I was mentally ill on glucose, guaranteed, and as not the very good leader of the family, I had some things to learn. But boy, once I started on ketones and clearing the poisons out of my system, and I reversed my Syndrome X. I'm like the man I always wanted to be. I'm virile, I'm powerful, I'm strong. Like today, and like I'm saying with my push-ups, man, I'm gonna be cranking out. I'm gonna try to do 100 push-ups today in sets, not all at once. But you know, as I continue on with this, like I said, I already walked my 5 miles. I personally don't have a friend or an acquaintance that I have said, hey, hi, bye to, that is as healthy as I am. Now, are there? Yeah, duh. Matter of fact, I brag about how old I am now. Most people are like, you know, 55, man. Whoa. And no shit, people are like, dude, I don't know how I look on camera, but in real life, I am handsome, I gotta tell you. Even with this funky hair, but still reminds me of the military. I love it. Big fan. I was a long hair once, don't like it. So, all right, here we go. Sugar sweetened beverages. Yes, sugar and then sweetened beverages. You want to limit this. No, I would like if you just never touched it again. And then sweets. They will allow you to have 1 sweet per day. Nah. I do like a little bit of chocolate chips, sweetened chocolate chips, but quite literally 10 or 15 of them, and I just kind of suck on them a little bit, let them melt in my mouth. If I'm feeling like it, if I don't, then I won't. And then sodium intake, limit sodium intake. Well, if you wanted a death sentence, that would be the thing I would tell you that would kill you the fastest. You need sodium, friends. You don't get it from almost anything you're eating, especially if you're eating fruit and veg. You're not going to get sodium, period. Sorry, it's not going to happen. not enough that you need. And they're like limited to 2 or 3 teaspoons. Actually, 2 or 3 teaspoons is 1.5. Let's see. 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. That's 16 grams. 5 grams, 2.5. So they want you. Well, yeah, you should be eating probably 5 grams of sodium or so. Believe it or not, that thing you talk with, that thing, it's called a tongue. It will tell you how much salt you need, because you'll feel like, my food's not quite salty enough. Add more. That's a little too much. Well, maybe eat less next time. You get the hang of it, and that's what your body needs. Your tongue is amazing at that, and your kidneys will take care of the rest. So if your tongue made a little bitty mistake, the kidneys will go, bro, we didn't need that much. I'm going to go ahead and pee some of it out. All right, so am I a DASH diet enthusiast? No. Do I think it helps people? Absolutely. You'll lose weight. Oh, and this is the worst part of that diet that I've seen other things. Calorie reduction, eating several times a day. Calorie reduction means you're going to be hangry. You're going to be hypoglycemic. You're going to be mad all the time. And all you're going to do all day long is think about food. And if you eat this several times a day, you can have up to 8 snacks a day. Insulin will stay right here. Guess how much real fat you're going to lose when your insulin is high? Close your eyes. What do you see? That's exactly right. You cannot tap your food stores when your insulin is high. The only chance you have at all is when you're sleeping and you're not feeding your mouth with something. Okay? Now insulin gets to drop a little bit, but depending on how many calories you ate, you may or may not lose any fat because your body's still trying to pack away all the stupid glucose you just munched down. All right? So anyway, for what it's worth, that's what it's worth. My dad said it's advice worth the price. You're not paying me. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not a doctor. I'm just, like I said, some dude that's been working on this for 10 days short of 11 months. And if you guys can do better, and this is not sarcasm, I'm not being snarky. This is dead. This is like I ran in front of a car and got my brain splattered all over the street serious. If you have a better way and you've been able to have my results, look back at my videos. Look where I was. I don't even have enough chin left to like. All right, you get better results than I do, I'm joining you. Because this has nothing to do with dogma, man. This ain't no bloody religion. This is like, you got a better mousetrap, and I need to kill mice. I'm with you. Oh, that's the wife. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.